Hello students, welcome to the world of politics. But to understand this chapter, which is your second chapter of political science, you have to go back in past. No, I'm not talking about history. You have to just go to the power sharing, the previous chapter. You remember the last topic under power sharing? And especially the second point, power shared among different levels. So this is what this chapter is, federalism. It's a system where the power is shared from the central authority to the various constituent units. Please concentrate and understand. They are using the word constituent units. Here units are nothing but states or union territories. Let's go little deep and find out federalism's division. So there are two types of federalism. One is the federal system, generic explanation, and then you have unitary system. See, this is one of the most repeated question which has been asked by CBSE. The division is put across here and we are going to discuss point by point. So first point they say under unitary system it's either one level of the government or the second level also consists of the same government. This is unitary. See, understand the word unitary, it is coming from the word unit. Unit means one. So for the whole country you will have only one government, and if there is another level of government that also belong to the same level. अगर मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल दूं तो मान लीजिए कि एक बड़ी कंपनी जिसका एक हेडक्वार्टर होगा और उसके सारे ब्रांचेस जो होंगे वो वही फॉलो करेंगे जो हेडक्वार्टर बोलता है, तो दैट इज यूनिटरी. नाउ व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट फेडरलिज्म दे से देयर आर टू और मोर लेवल्स ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, एंड व्हेनेवर देयर आर लेवल्स you know someone has to be dependent on the other. So the secondary level, which is the state level, is dependent on central government. That happens in federal. But then in unitary, that is not the chance. Herein, the power is almost same. Because local government is nothing. It's just a branch. It's just following what the central government is saying. And local government or the government which is at the second level is answerable to the central government. But in federalism, high chances are there that state government will have their own powers and separate powers. Let's see how it is going to happen in our country and some other countries which we are going to see. Let's talk about the key features of the federalism. So first feature and the most important and the easiest one is there are two or more levels of the government. Now you know which are the two levels, one at the center, the other one is at the state level. Now, this is interesting point. Same citizen governed by different government. Interesting. So different government governing the same citizen. For example, I am in state XYZ. So there is a government. It could be Congress, it could be BJP. But then who is at the center? The BJP. So both the governments are having laws for us. This is what the second point is. Now, jurisdiction at all the levels is determined in constitution. Understand this word called jurisdiction. आपने बहुत सारी हिंदी मूवीज में देखा होगा कि कहीं किसी का पर्स चोरी हो जाता है, फिर वो केस करने पुलिस स्टेशन जाता है और वो पूछता है पहला सवाल कि कहाँ चोरी हुआ है पर्स. तो आप एक जगह बोलते सॉरी ये मेरे jurisdiction में नहीं आता है. So it's a definite area where the law is implemented or is applied. That is called jurisdiction. Now, highest court. Which is the highest court? Supreme Court. Now, Supreme Court act as an umpire between the two unit. Chances है ना बेटा, power share हो रहा है second level पे, first level पे, तो हो सकता है कि मैं मानूं नहीं कि बॉस मुझे जो दिया गया वो कम है या ज़्यादा है. So in that sense, I can have a conflict of opinion, and for which I need to have someone to take care of it, and that is done by Supreme Court. Now see, federal system whenever you have, it actually solves two purposes. One, it safeguards and promotes your unity. Second, it accommodates your diversity. तो अगर आप फेडरल सिस्टम में हो या फेडरल फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट है तो आपकी यूनिटी को प्रमोट करेगा, सेफगार्ड करेगा, प्रोटेक्ट करेगा. दूसरी चीज एकोमोडेट करेगा डाइवर्सिटी. सो रिमेंबर दिस थिंग एंड लेट्स मूव अहेड. वी हैव अनदर इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक लाइक टू रूट्स टू फॉर्म फेडरलिज्म. Simply, there are two ways by which a federal government can be formed. One is coming together and the other one is holding together. Remember, you have to put across 3 points. coming together. Smaller units will come together to form a bigger unit, larger unit. And why? Why? Because they want to be powerful. They do not want to get dominated by someone who is bigger in size or bigger in economy. That's why coming together. For example, USA, United States of America. So different states came together to form a bigger unit, larger unit, that is United States of America. You can have another example of Switzerland. Let's move to holding together. You have a central authority, then the power from this central authority goes to the subunit, the next level, which we call as states. Now, here chances are that states might have similar power to that of center, or they might have different. They can have little more power, extra powers. In short, I can say they will be having unequal distribution of power. The example is our own country. India, you have Spain as well as Belgium, already seen in power sharing. Now let's see what makes India a federal state. Now, as per the explanation by far, we understand that we have got a central government, we have got a state government, we have municipalities, and then we have panchayat. Don't you think too many levels? We actually had two levels of government. One for the whole country, that is called central government. Then we have states, so we have state government. But then we came up with third form of government, which is very unique to India. And in that third form of government, we have panchayat for the villages, and then we have municipalities for the larger city, metropolis cities in India. Let's take it ahead and find out what is this federalism in India. See, as I discussed, we have these three-fold distribution of power, legislative powers. One at union, the other one at state, then we have concurrent. These are the list actually. Herein, they have their work, they have their work, they have their work, and then we see how the powers are distributed, who is having what. Union list. Now, as the word says union, it is center. Anything which is utmost important for the whole country is actually in this list. And who is going to take decision? Central government. Now, defense, bank, external affair, trade, commerce, everything is under यूनियन लिस्ट. बहुत सिंपल सा एग्जांपल है. अगर आप मान लीजिए गुजरात में हैं या महाराष्ट्र में हैं, तो नोट के ऊपर आपने देखा होगा सब जगह गांधी जी है. ऐसा नहीं कि महाराष्ट्र में हो तो शिवाजी महाराज का फोटो होगा. सो इट्स ऑल नेशनल बिकॉज बैंक्स आर नेशनल थिंग. नाउ वी हैव द सेकेंड लिस्ट, स्टेट लिस्ट. समथिंग विच इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर दैट स्टेट, दैट रीजन comes under state list. We have agriculture, we have trade. Now the last part or the last list, concurrent. Interestingly, state and union both can make decision on concurrent list. But remember, if there is some doubt, some discussion and some conflict, whose decision will be prevailing? It has to be center, because in India, central government is more powerful than state government. We have to move little ahead and find out what happened once these three lists were prepared. But then what about those subjects which came afterwards? So they were put into residue. It's a list. As the word say, residue, bacha kucha. Now example is, you have terrorism, you have telecommunication, everything comes under this list. We move little ahead and find out कि in our country, do we have same power to the all states? Answer is no. And this is that question which regularly features in CBSE board. That holding together federation do not give equal power to all the constituent unit. You have to write two examples. One is about state, the second one is about union territories. So let's talk about which state is having more power or little less power or different power. You can simply see in the map, it's Jammu and Kashmir. Boss, इस स्टेट के पास कुछ ज़्यादा ही पावर है. But obvious, before this year. They had their own constitution. Interestingly, if anything you want to put and apply in Jammu and Kashmir, it has to be discussed in their assembly. Now then only they can implement that law which is applicable for the whole country. This shows that they have little extra power. Apart from that, if you are non-Jammu Kashmirian, you cannot buy land here. This is also one thing which gives them additional extra power, which is not there with any other state. Now, as I said, there are other units which are also having separate power, and we call them union territories. First, you need to have the definition. Union territories are so small that they cannot be called as a state, but they are so complex and diverse they cannot be merged with any states. That's why they are known as union territories. And you can see the union territories, which is an updated map. We have Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh as two new union territories. Remember all the names. They can ask you this, just the names of union territories for 3 marks. Now the names are Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Chandigarh, Daman and Diu, Delhi, Andaman Nicobar, Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Then you have Lakshadweep Islands and Puducherry or Pondicherry, whatever you say and comfortable with. Now who is going to take decision for these units? Union territory. Central government takes decision for these units. Let's go to the next part and talk about what these power sharing arrangements help and how it helps to us. See, Parliament cannot on its own change this system. Simply, in Parliament, nobody can come up and say that we will have 4th form of government or we will have just 2 form of government, nor any assembly, state assembly. So there is no this authority. It has to be passed by legislature at least half of the total state. So if I decide in Parliament that we are going to come up with the 5th form of power sharing, or we are just going to stick with 2 form of power sharing, then I need to have a support of state assemblies, and more than half should be in my favor. Then only I can have a power sharing arrangement change. Now talk about judiciary. We have Supreme Court, High Court, and then we have local courts. As I said, there is always chances when you are having power sharing, chance of conflict and fight. So you have to have an umpire, a neutral person. So role of judiciary is simple, just to check that everything is implemented constitutionally and nothing is violated. The one who is violating these things need to be punished, and it has to be according to the constitution written. Now to know more about what is there in federalism, we have to wait a little. By the time, you people keep revising and keep smiling. Thank you.